Rebounds TV with Calvin and Barry. Just two crazy fans of the Sacramento Kings, and they sharing their opinion. So be sure that you subscribe. It's for the fans, by the fans. Whether you chilling on the couch or wildin' in the stand. For laid back conversations about the Kings, subscribe here. Staying down until we come up thinking this gon' be our year. We're here, drinking beer, talking about the Kings. Be sure you subscribe so you can hear that bell ring, yeah.
What's up, Kings fans? Welcome back to Royal Rebounds, a Sacramento Kings YouTube channel for fans by fans. My name is Barry. I will be your host today. If you're a Kings fan, make sure you smash up that like button down below, and please consider hitting that subscribe button. We put out fresh Kings content every single week. We've been live Tuesday and Thursday nights, and also don't forget to hit that notification cowbell so you get notified every time we put out a new video. Want to give a shout out to Brian, Nick, Jeff. Thank you guys all for joining in today. As you can see, Calvin is still on vacation. He is in Michigan, but I got some interesting stuff today to go over. First off, we have a really cool article here from Yahoo Sports. ESPN always does kind of a league-wide survey of all the coaches every offseason. An anonymous coach here said that the Kings boast the best NBA offseason and have a legitimate chance at making the playoffs this year. Here's a quote directly. I think they've made enough additions where I think they have a legitimate chance to make the playoffs. Cool stuff here to see the Kings getting recognized, especially by bigger media sources such as Yahoo Sports. And I agree with this article here. The Kings now boast a boatload of young talent around De'Aaron Fox and Domantas Sabonis, all under 25 years old and all locked up for at least the next 2 seasons. They drafted Murray this year at pick 4. We drafted Davion Mitchell the year before that. Then we got Herder picked up in a trade and Malik Monk signed in free agency. So a lot of really, really cool additions here to help improve this Kings roster. All right, so that's pretty much all I have as far as news today. There's not a lot going on with the Kings, but I do have something special that I do want to share with you all, since I am excited about next season, and I think we do have a really good chance to end the streak of 16 consecutive years not making the playoffs. I want to remind you all about the last time we were good and the last time we were cheated out of a title. This video is titled "The Greatest Tragedy in Sports." It's a full documentary. It's about 50 minutes long. I'm going to play it here on the channel. I'm not taking any credit for this video. I did not make this video. It was originally on YouTube. I think I saw it back in 2009. It was posted by NFL Rankings. I had to find it on Daily Motion. So it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm going to grab some popcorn, watch it with you guys. Once again, I'm taking no credit for this video. I turned off monetization on this video. It's just going to be fun to watch this. I'm going to kind of interject here and there. And then at the end, I want us all to get together and kind of talk about the experience. So without further ado, let's do it. Also, shout out to Deuce Mason, Morgan Reagan, and Carmichael Dave, as they are all featured in this as well.
That's me.
Yeah,
I got it.
I can see it.
It was this day 13 years ago. Tipped, rebound.
Oh, really? Why are you even bringing this up then?
You're a son of a bitch.
Yeah, you're a sick person.
Right into the hands of Robert Horry. Horry grabbed it in the perfect spot. Put it right back up. Time expired.
Why are you doing this? I'm so confused.
Because the pain matters, Morgan.
I'm going to go make some popcorn. I'll be right
Ball,
back.
Through hoop, Staples Center, the 4 people that were left go wild. A disheveled and confused look on Hedo Turkoglu's face. Vlade not understanding what's going on, even though he'd missed 1 or 2 free throws a few seconds prior. And the Sacramento Kings lose Game 4 of the Western Conference Finals. People forget, too, Samaki Walker, the shot that went in to end the half that turned a 17-point lead to a 14-point lead, which would create the rule where you are allowed to replay those shots. It would have never counted. Had Vlade made the free throw, the Horry shot wouldn't have mattered. Or it would have. They'd have gone to overtime. On this day 13 years ago, Robert Horry.
Why would you do this.
He killed the Kings. That's what he did.
No, I mean, the series went 7 games.
They killed
them. And you know what they did? They followed up by winning Mike Bibby's big shot in Game 5. So, I mean, he killed the Kings.
You want to know, I've heard that theory before, David Deuce Mason.
I start thinking back to 2002, and I'm like, as Sacramento fans, it's amazing how much we still hold on to that. Like, it's kind of pathetic in a way, but at the same time, like...
You know, there's a very good, I've been tweeting with the dude this morning, there's a very good sort of tinfoil hat conspiracy theory thing on YouTube, though. If you go to Game 6, there's a guy that is Mr. Conspiracy. He still hasn't let it go. I was looking through some of his tweets, and he's still tweeting, like, seriously, to this day, he's tweeting about 2-3 times a day about Game 6 and how we got screwed. Ralph Nader agrees. So you don't want to bring it up all the time. You don't want to, we don't want to...
What you do?
Tim Donaghy is a convicted felon.
Convicted felon?
A convicted felon.
A rogue, isolated criminal.
Donaghy has pleaded guilty to betting on games he officiated and is facing up to 25 years in federal prison, but seeks a lesser sentence by cooperating with authorities.
Tuesday, he came out with allegations that the league actually instructed referees to manipulate 2 different playoff series in 2002 and 2005.
Game 6, 2002. It was unbelievable. It was the worst officiated game in my sports writing career.
It was an embarrassment to the league, that it was the worst officiated contest in professional basketball I'd ever seen. And I wrote that in the Washington Post, and I believe that now.
He's a singing, cooperating witness who is trying to get as light a sentence as he can.
You say that Donaghy cooperated with you. If he had lied to you, he would have faced a much longer sentence, no?
The FBI would stand by him. If we ever found out that there was a lie, that cooperation agreement would be ripped up.
And that never happened?
That never happened.
Do you think the fact that Stern is essentially judge and jury in everything in the league is a problem here, and that he needs an independent investigation of this?
Sort of independent agency that not only hired but monitored, independent of the league office, the league record.
Let me just say that we're thrilled with the outcome today in court. We felt that the judge rendered a sentence that was fair and reasonable, and in our view it was a victory for the truth. The judge recognized Mr. Donaghy's extensive cooperation and the fact that at all times he was truthful.
Commissioner David Stern declined to speak with us. He didn't want the league to participate in a report about Donaghy.
The league must find a way to permanently remove the stain of Tim Donaghy.
Although Donaghy's crime hit at the very core of the game's integrity, league officials and all concerned rarely speak of it these days, clearly hoping that fans will somehow forget that it ever really happened.
Another perfect day. I love LA.
Shaq era here the last 3 years. Vlade Divac has been the only guy who's been able to play against Shaq without fouling. He dominate the low post, but Shaq hasn't picked up any fouls on Vlade yet. Here's the first. And the crowd responds. Vlade Divac has played exceptionally well throughout the series, within 1 as we approach a minute and a half remaining in this first quarter. Once again, O'Neal goes to work against Pollard, able to whip right by him.
Not a foul.
Dribble handoffs, getting it on the Shaq is just throwing.
Not a foul either.
Jackson right now. Bobby Jackson is playing very well. Shaq's got the great position. Good look from the basket counts and the foul.
Offensive glass. Well, Phil Jackson is over there telling his guys, hey, we can win the game, but we can't win it in 2 minutes.
Divac called for the foul. A hold on Vlade. That's number 3. Chakalu for 3. And a loose ball foul called on Vlade Divac. That is number 4 on Vlade.
That's the one that... And you know where they're going here. They're going to be looking to go to Shaq.
Oh, and the foul is called as both Pollard and Weber.
They're having to play catch-up.
Pollard remaining on O'Neal. Rick Adelman trying to buy some time for Lonnie Divac and a foul. Scott Pollard in the first half. O'Neal coming up short and a foul. The late whistle. Preoccupied with Chris Webber.
I know, man, it's tough to watch, but this will give us motivation during the season. And just imagine how it's going to feel when we make the playoffs. And yeah, wait till it gets to the David Stern part, and we're talking about the draft lottery and all that. I forgave David Stern, though. He kept the Kings in Sacramento. I think that's the one thing he could do, and I think he felt bad. I think that's why he did it.
See, now you don't have anybody that can keep Shaq from
all this. I remember Don Nelson did this in Dallas to Shaquille O'Neal one time. Shaq took umbrage to it, but away from it. Here's Steve Smith. Now they wait till they get the ball across half court. There he is. Look at him. That's the easiest foul Shaq has ever had committed.
Sacramento was complaining that I got too many calls. When they were the idiots that got in the paper and said, "Oh, we're gonna hack a Shaq," they fouled us every time.
Playing against the Lakers,
yeah,
where they always cheated.
Yeah, well,
when you foul me, say you foul me.
C-Web, you got anything to add?
Anything, Chris?
The conspiracy.
I heard a rumor one time about some cheating, and
listen,
I guess it never happened.
It's not a rumor.
Steve Smith goes right to the rack, lost the ball. He goes to the floor. There's no foul. How is that not a foul?
Donaghy told the FBI and us that NBA headquarters inadvertently helped him pick winners by sending refs instructions before a game. For example, he says he won several bets in a row by putting his money on the Los Angeles Lakers because he knew the league was going to favor their star, Kobe Bryant.
I knew that Kobe Bryant was basically going to be given the opportunity to go to the foul line if somebody as much as breathed on him.
Donaghy not only confessed his own sins to the FBI, he also blew the whistle on the NBA. He claimed that in the playoffs, the NBA does everything possible to extend series and to help big market teams advance. Longer playoffs with those chosen teams mean more money for the NBA.
And the Larry O'Brien Trophy is at stake here this afternoon. The Boston Celtics, proud possessors of 14 NBA championships, can win number 15 in the Los Angeles Forum. They lead this series 3-2, and it started in Game 6 of the NBA World Championship Series, coming up live here from the Forum.
40 seconds. Magic Johnson misses. It'll be a Boston foul. And Larry Bird is hit with his first personal foul, and the Lakers will go to the line.
Yeah, they definitely were robbed, man. It's funny though, seeing some of this old footage and you see like Shaq actually had hair. You see Doug Christie with hair. Oh, when they talk about the foul, Christie fouls Bryant with his chin. That shit is wild.
Gets the basket and the foul, and a technical foul called as well in the third period. Dennis Johnson. And Michael Cooper, the rebound and a loose ball foul against the Boston on the perimeter to bring Kareem Abdul-Jabbar out. Now he goes in to help. Offensive foul against Boston. It's on Henderson. He's picked up 2 so far. And Robert Parrish, a little out of his range, misses. And the foul is against Boston. And it's on Larry Bird, and Larry Bird has his 4th foul.
Yeah, lots of Vlada in this stuff too. It was actually the reason I was excited my Rams were moving back to LA, because I knew they were going to win a Super Bowl as soon as they went back to LA. And yeah, went to 2 Super Bowls, won one of them. Big markets, they just got an advantage. If you're just tuning in, we got a substitute today, so it's movie day. Grab your popcorn. And we're watching the greatest tragedy in sports. A really cool video. Hopefully I don't get taken down by YouTube. I'm not monetizing this video, and I'm not going to record this, so it's not going to be available afterwards. Only live right now, so enjoy it. Here we go. Look for the bent envelope in the corner.
Will be gingerly placed. In each envelope is the team logo.
the Hawks, the Warriors, the Pacers, the Clippers, the Knicks, the Kings.
This is the first year of the draft lottery, by the way, and the Kings had the worst record in the NBA.
Thinking by some going into that draft was that, well, you know, if Ewing lands in Sacramento, that doesn't help the league. But if Ewing lands in New York, obviously this is a pillar franchise.
Look at that, bend corner.
Which one was the Knicks?
Straightens it out.
Basketball is back in New York City, my friend.
Should have been on the Kings.
If Taylor Stern called me and told me that the lottery was rigged, I wouldn't be surprised.
Sorry, Jeff. I will try to do whatever I can to fix it. It says right now in OBS that my computer is working fine, that my internet is fine. I do live in Hawaii, so the connection is a little sketchy. But I will try my best to close as many windows and see if I can get it to work smoother for you, Jeff. You can always look up this video yourself, too, if you want. It's called The Greatest Tragedy in Sports. It's on dailymotion.com right now. Crazy, right? They're like, back in those days, you're like, wow, look at how clear that image is. Oh man, it is blurry, Jeff.
Because the Kings were terrible. So there was like this weird underground buzz building with the Kings. Remember, like there was email and there was some internet back then, but there were no videos. And the Kings were so much fun to watch, and I was so mad that they weren't on TV more. And I remember that year they ended up playing Utah in the best of 5.
Yeah.
And that's when you and I jumped on the bandwagon full force, because those games were on. Yeah. And they barely lost it. I think Stockton ended up just ripping their hearts out a couple times.
Of a series that seems to have captured national attention and interest. That's all. Here's Weber. Contact and the foul will go against him. Another assist Stockton. Basket Malone.
I got a poll here going in the chat. I want to hear from you guys. Who you'd rather have, Mike Bibby or White Chocolate?
His left arm out there, like, grab this thing. What's Stockton's left arm now? Here, Jason, grab this thing and get a foul. Thank you.
I got a little something for you here. Trust me, I've been around a long time. You're just a rookie. You can trust me.
From my understanding, some friends I have that, you know, play with the Lakers, that Phil used that movie in game sessions. Wow. Yeah, he used that movie in game sessions when the Shaq and Kobe era, when they were playing against the Sacramento Kings.
Just to get them really pissed off?
Yeah, because they had, remember Jason Williams, the white point guard,
White chocolate.
looked like Ed Norton.
Yeah, a little bit. All right. Yeah.
And then Edelman kind of looked like Hitler. So.
Shaquille O'Neal we're seeing now is the Shaq that everyone was waiting for.
Awesome, man. But I don't know, Mike.
Although they are the 8th seed, the Sacramento Kings have always played the Lakers. Pollard doing what he can against O'Neal. A whistle before the shot.
Well, the sad part about two is bigger, stronger, faster, all the things you're talking about. It's one thing to be bigger
Shaq has forced Pollard into 2 quick fouls.
Careful not to get a third foul. Gets his arm out, locks him up. Robert Horry goes down. The third foul, that changes the whole game. Double team, you lose contact with a man, but when that ball goes up, you got to find somebody and put a body on him. It's going to be an offensive foul on Weber, which is going to be his 5th. Critical, and now he's going to get a technical. Rick Adelman is very upset, as is Chris Weber. Felt like that Robert Horry flopped on the play. And remember, he picked up a foul like this right at the end of the first half. Watch this now.
Playoff stars so far. And Weber just picked up his 6th, I believe, on the collision under the basket. He's fouled out.
3 offensive fouls on Chris Weber that have taken him completely out of this game. Caught the ball, turned. You see the face of Rick Adelman knows that the chances of a comeback now have really diminished. But Weber...
You know, we should be able to bang in the paint. It's that simple. Big Shaq bangs. We don't cry about it. He's a big fella. He makes them. That's the way it is. God made him bigger than us, so how am I going to cry and say he's bigger than me?
Won 67 games. The Kings won 44, and here we go. From the Staples Center in downtown Los Angeles, Kobe Bryant quickly works on Nick Anderson. And they got Anderson for this reason alone, the playoffs. Glenn Rice on Williamson. And the night's first shot is off with a whistle and a foul. And it's blown on Williamson of Sacramento. That's his first of the game.
Yeah, very true. Very true.
That's Danny Ainge kind of refereeing right there. I mean, what is that, a touch foul starting the game?
And Horry, and should demand double teams. Inside to Williamson, shot clock at 3. Chris Weber from outside, who had 27 points in 28 minutes on Sunday. Sacramento, John, has started 4-4.
Well, they started 4-4, but in the same token, I still love to see them do some penetrating in this game because it's only a matter of time with the kind of talent out he has. You have to go towards Shaq and give him some things to deal with inside.
Foul called on Chris Weber. He picks up his first, and like I just said, he fouled out Sunday and was really handcuffed by fouls all game long.
Yeah, had a couple offensive fouls too, trying to be aggressive down low, and I think that's why he's seven playing there in the second quarter.
Glenn Rice has been a little bit quiet, 5 points. Kobe finding Shaq, stifling defense by the Kings, forcing him out. The foul call on Sacramento.
Well, they're forcing him out, but they permitted him to catch the ball in the middle of the lane. And anytime he catches the ball right in the middle of the lane like that, you have a serious problem.
Well, that looked like pretty good defense to me.
That's not a foul, though,
He's got to box out, rebound, set screens, help to get people out, make passes.
And a foul away from the ball. Scott Pollard got tangled up with Glenn Rice. Scott Pollard, who played for Roy Williams at Kansas, picks up the foul. He bounced around a little bit. Great AT&T halftime offensive rebounds.
Well, he has such a presence out there, Kevin. I mean, even that segment, Lonnie did the right thing.
Goaltend on Weber. So count the free throws. Plus 10 in that category. Kobe Bryant will create, drive, and scoop it up and miss, and a foul as he somehow wedged his way inside and got a pretty good look at the basket.
Let's not crown him yet.
Kobe had an outstanding 22-point first half. And a technical foul on Vlade Divac, who walks off the floor with his 4th foul of the game.
Working right now for the Lakers.
And the Lakers, at least through 2 games, look unbeatable.
3-0.
We just did what we were supposed to do. Now we just need to go up there and, get game 3.
The ease of their 2 home victories may have blinded LA to the threat that still lurked in the rabid atmosphere of Sacramento.
Guys really, they really didn't know too much what to expect. And Sacramento, they have awesome fans. They're loud, they're crazy, they cheer for their home team, and it was really the Lions' den.
there's a foul. Number 2 on Divac. Harper looking for Shaq. Finding him on the right block. Little jump, and he beat the shot clock. And there was a foul, evidently. It would have been a 24-second violation because I don't think the shot drew iron. Shaq got it deep on Divac, plus the foul. And Divac is saying, look, I just tried to hold my ground and I had my arms upraised. How can that be a foul?
I personally think that's a no call myself because Shaq drove the ball up through his arms. He's really the one who created the contact. Body didn't reach in his hands. I think that's a play on. You don't make that call.
Yeah, I think Divac and Adelman are right on this one. AC Green. Shaq finally rests at 3, and then there's a whistle. And it's on Pollard. Here's Shaq over Pollard, short, got his own again, and a whistle before the shot.
When Shaq shoots that ball, Scott Pollard has got to step back and get his body into him. Shaq is shooting it, and
Pollard venting his wrath in the direction of Bob Delaney as he sits down, risking a technical.
Jump hook. The Kings lead by 11. Weber 29, 13, 8 assists, 2 steals.
Conspiracy beer money. That's perfect.
Shaq as it is. Divac just taking a rest. He's not in foul trouble. He has 4 points and 6 rebounds and a quick foul called on Pollard.
Well, that's what I'm saying right away.
That's a good idea, though.
Very tentative at the defensive end to avoid foul trouble.
Shaq with the hook and a foul.
Rick Adelman's been yelling the whole game that Shaq does that every time down the court. So if I'm Phil Jackson, I think I'm not talking that, bringing that
distance. Lakers have not led at all in this game.
Lakers had complained that refs had
it's definitely interesting in watching that in the tempo of this game. And these guys are getting up and down the floor. You're absolutely correct. The Lakers seem to be a little bit more energetic than they were before.
Oh, yeah, they're coming out fired up. But what about the illegal defense, what we were just talking about? Officials saw it.
Shaq. Another illegal defense. That is the second in a row. It'll be a technical shot. And possession for the Los Angeles. Things have happened. First of all, 2 illegal defenses in the span of 6 seconds. And now this tee. And for a team like Sacramento, which needs a lot to go the right way in the first quarter. Lakers shooting 53%, Kings 23%. Another illegal defense. The third on
documentary. How the Kings always get screwed. Not taking credit for it. This was originally posted by NFL Rankings, so shout out to him or her.
In that Phoenix series, made 34 of them, so not only is he shooting, but he's getting to the line, and he knocks down a pair.
Bryant yet to look at the hoop, so let's see if they get Kobe involved. Back to Shaq.
Foul on Weber. And O'Neal will go to the free throw line. That one was too easy and too deep.
In the game with 3:20 to go here in the first quarter, and the game is tied. So Christie doing a good job against Kobe Bryant, turns it over.
Yeah, Doug Christie, one of the premier defenders in the NBA. Junior, much better on the road this year. 22 and 19 on the road this season.
A franchise best road record and a foul on Weber well away from the ball. That's not the kind of foul that Chris Webber needs to pick up because this is not a big team, Sacramento. Other than Scott Pollard, they don't have anybody else that can guard Shaq.
But look by 3.
Come to Shaq right away.
Well, you know,
Pollard just got in the game. Little stiff. Referees love to call an initial foul on the backup center. 1 for 15 is a nightmare. Kobe, consecutive missed layups. Shaq.
And a foul for Shaquille O'Neal. Chance for a 3-point play. And that ends the 10-0 run by Sacramento. Deflects it, Bryant tries to save it, goes crashing. Pollard misses the second attempt, puts it in, gets knocked to the floor. O'Neal got away with one there as Pollard was crashed to the floor. Bryant finally gets back out on the floor himself.
Well, there have been 2 occasions where the Sacramento Kings had a legitimate complaint about Shaq fouling Scott Pollard. Neither one of them called. And Rick Adelman is saying, what is a foul? It's not invited to those.
The Sacramento bench is up in arms. Vlade thought he got fouled, and they couldn't nothing.
Shaw with the steal.
Don't foul if you're Vlade Divac.
Divac turns and walks away. He's not arguing.
Well, he's already got one technical.
And that's exactly why.
Vlade's just standing there. He's just standing there. That's a foul, but if they're not going to call it at the other end, why did they call it when Shaq goes to the hoop?
Shaquille O'Neal now 5 of 8 from the line. He's got 15 points, 5 boards.
I guess you're finally going to agree with my point. Shaq has been brutalizing people down here.
Shaq got away with at least 2 fouls on the defensive end that they did not call. At least 2.
1 or 2 for O'Neal.
Gets inside, blocked from behind by Stojakovic.
Williams a long way. Wait a second. That's the kind of thing that Rick Adelman will pull his hair out, or he just staring at Jason Williams, shaking his head, saying, what are you thinking?
And it's a 3-point game. Shot clock turned off. Jason Williams
all the way.
Goes running. O'Neal with the rejection. His 7th block of the game. And a foul called with 15.5 remaining.
Can I put you on the spot? Yeah. Jason Williams or Mike Bibby?
Here you go.
I'd have to say Mike Bibby. Stop it. Only reason why. Stop it.
That's cool, man, that they get to get up there and talk about it.
Where is the challenge?
Afterwards.
That's what that run to third championship has been about. Where is the challenge?
I hate this
gonna lie.
The challenge would come from the Sacramento Kings, who had spent years building a team to contend with the Lakers. The Kings had earned the league's best record and home court advantage throughout the playoffs, and were ready to go toe-to-toe with the champions.
That Sacramento series was what we were waiting for all season, to really feel challenged and to really feel like we would have to reach down extremely deep.
These 2 teams, back like the old days, there is some animosity. There's not a lot of love lost between these 2 clubs.
Bryant, good defense on Christie. Weber spinning inside.
I feel so bad for Vlade. I know he got drafted by the Lakers and was a Laker originally, but I really saw him as a King.
If you're Sacramento, you cannot ever get into it with the rest in this series. This is not going to be about luck.
He didn't do a great job, missed out on some people.
Composure. They felt on the last 10, Kirkland gets a rebound, gets knocked off balance, they get no call. Weber comes flying out, doesn't move his feet, and that allows Laurie to get inside, and they feel, hey, this guy's almost in there clean. There's no contact, and he's going to go to the line.
If you're Sacramento, stay off the refs here. You got Weber with 2 fouls, Vlade with 2 fouls. Yes, the game is getting rough here. The referees are letting it.
They want to swing it. They don't want to have to settle for the jumper. This foul against.
It's good against Divac. Divac just picked up his 3rd. He thought originally it was going to stay there. Tom Washington, the official, didn't signal which way. He did point down on the floor to stay here. That's a really tough call in the 3rd quarter of the opening game of the Western Conference Finals. Now, Divac fouled out twice in the Utah series, once in the Dallas series. During the regular season, he only fouled out once. And another foul on Vlade. This is really tough. So Divac now has 4 personal fouls.
Always has to react to good offense, and we've seen it when the Lakers are
just joining in right now. Thank you guys for hanging out today. It's movie day.
The Lakers are going to
Calvin's gone.
And
we're watching a video called The Greatest Tragedy in
Sports. Going to get Turkoglu off. I mean, the lead players.
It's basically
everything worked for
all about how the Kings get
to keep it alive, and he's calling for a loose ball foul. Rick Adelman very upset. And the Lakers are going to shoot some free throws. 2 on Pollard. Control of the boards. The result of his hand looks better. Or he gets inside. Now let's see the call. Dick Bavetta blew the whistle. And a blocking foul called on Divac because he was in the restricted area. So that will be number 5.
referees trained themselves to look down at that line. And now with Weber and Vlade having this conversation about how they're going to play this last 8:44 in serious foul trouble.
Foul on this. Dick Bavetta ruling that he was in the restricted area, but on this particular part, his foot is above the line.
Well, I think you'd have to say Bavetta might have thought he was still moving, but it looked like he was out in front and took that right in the chest, and just another bad break for Divac and the Kings.
But Steve, go back to what Bavetta's call was. Bavetta pointed down into the circle area, and he said, I'm making my call because you're inside the line.
Just one try. They've forgotten about Shaq right now.
They get it right back to Kobe Bryant. That's
really crazy.
He hit him with his elbow and forearm right in the face, and Doug Christie had him played perfectly. Fourth foul on Christie.
And they have a whole team of guys.
Forehead of Doug Christie. Now, there's no contact for Doug Christie. And there shouldn't have been a call there against Doug Christie. And I'm with this guy right here. I'll get a chin foul.
No contact, Steve.
You know, the conspiracy theory on that, by the way, is he did not get food poisoning, that he actually was drinking the night before that game and was a little hungover.
This is the type of love. Wine about it tonight. A lot of wine, a lot of beer, a couple shots, maybe like 20 of them. Digest it, get back to work tomorrow. Nothing you can do.
For Kobe Bryant, the food poisoning, he missed some practice. Kobe, first question, how you feeling tonight?
I feel pretty good. You know, it's going to be fun to get back out there and play the game.
The question isn't about the energy.
Kobe at this point, but later on in his career,
did you really?
Retired, started to just enjoy.
Bacon cheeseburger?
No, number 2.
And his ability
Marv
to
was
compete.
wrong again. Thank you very much, Marv. Well, Shaquille O'Neal and Phil Jackson have spent the past couple of days complaining about the officiating. A lot has been written and a lot has been said. I spoke to Rick Adelman before the game. He said he's sick and tired of all that the Lakers have been saying. If they're so good, they ought to just play the game. That's right. I'm tired of it. Just let him play. I took that reply to Shaquille O'Neal, to which Shaq told me, I wish they would just play and not fly.
Offensive foul on Shaq, his fourth.
Straight up offensive foul.
Mike Bibby goes right to the basket. There's the reach.
Oh, my goodness.
Right across.
That's a foul.
To value the ball. We say that all the time, but certainly against this kind of opponent, you've got to take care of it.
Technical foul on Bibby. He threw the ball down, and it bounced off the face of Shaquille O'Neal. Well, we saw horrible officiating in game 1, and it looks like it is carried over to the start of game 2.
But when you take in the context of what happened, and you talk about what happened to the referees, the scandal, all the other people involved.
You got to be kidding me.
I don't know, man.
That's not an offensive foul.
Painting a little bit of a picture.
That's ridiculous.
I'll tell you what, it's lucky that Vlade has any ribs left after that one.
From Vlade Divac's dunk in game 2 in the second half, and just inspired the entire King organization that we can get this done.
Yeah, I mean, they got voted best commentators in the league. Thought they were a great tandem. But you know Jerry was going to retire, and unfortunately what happened to Graham, you got to move on. Yeah, he did. Well, you're right. Here we go. I like the upbeat music. Vlade. Love Doug Christie. Always have, always Matt Barnes before Matt Barnes. I think the Kings were up 17.
This crowd is energized. They are fired up. They are ready for more.
Hey sports fans, Coach Nick here, and welcome to B-Ball Breakdown. Got a doozy for you. Game 4 of the O2 Western Conference Finals. I know you guys all want to see Game 6, and we're working on getting the footage, but this one was incredible and epic. The Kings had a huge lead that they lost because the Lakers stayed focused and stayed committed and got some help from the refereeing. Let's not ignore that because it happened in Game 4 as well.
That.
So,
like this one.
Lots of stuff to go over and enjoy. Up by 9, the Kings try to push the ball, and Fisher comes over with some contact to dislodge the ball. It definitely seems curious that the refs did not call it, considering a few seconds later, they call a complete phantom call on Lawrence Funderburk.
That's really
This, in fact, would have earned Ori a fine for flopping in today's game.
Such a good guy.
Let me tell you something. Guys running down the court to get to his spot, he bumps him, okay? And he can get to his spot without that bump, but once he bumps him and knocks him out, you gotta call him.
Come on, man.
But the point is, Rick, did he hit him? And that's what I asked Ron. Nah, he hit him. You know, and you gotta give him the call. Let him run like that and get bumped, he'll get the call.
It's a bunch of BS.
You run like that, you get bumped. How could I not give it to you?
Interesting take by Danny Crawford, but soon after, the Kings run a high post split with Bibby getting the handoff. Great pass back to Vlade, who gets hammered across the wrist, but again, there is no call.
As he lays this off to Vlade Divac. Oh, that's a foul. I'm sorry.
And another strange call was made on this loose ball at mid-court, when it appears the referee had a good angle to see there was no contact.
In favor of the Lakers. Kobe drives in the lane, flips the shot up and in. Kobe Bryant, less than a minute, 98-95 Sacramento. Left corner, Ori for 3. Oh yeah!
And I'm not taking anything away from Kobe or from Shaq or from the Lakers. I just think we were the better team and we got screwed.
They're not through yet.
Though the Lakers had answered the challenge with one of the greatest comebacks in playoff history, they hadn't come far enough. LA still trailed by 2 points, but would have one last chance in the final seconds.
Now Ori out front, 10 seconds. Kobe Bryant against Christie. Kobe Bryant on the move against Christie. In for the right, flips his shot up, no good. O'Neal lays it up, missed it. Ball tipped out to Ori, a straight on 3. Good!
Man, Robert Ori. Oh. Sorry, guys. I think it cut out your audio. Give me 1 second here. That should fix it. There we go.
Kind of strange that the most powerful player in the game only went to the line one time. If you didn't watch the game, you would say, oh, Shaq shooting jumpers now? But you know I don't shoot jumpers. However, we just have to keep playing.
Them chirping about the officiating on both sides, because this is before David Stern.
Both sides by a lot.
Both sides.
By the way, everyone who hasn't read Jonathan Abrams' oral history of this series should read it.
Yes.
You're interviewed extensively in it. And the forgotten thing about that series was the Lakers spent the first 5 games of the series complaining about the officiating.
Both teams.
I don't mean the Lakers didn't play quite of as pretty ball as the Kings did, but the triangle's nice to watch, and like Shaq and Kobe were fun to watch. Like that was the Lakers. It's not like the Lakers were the '90s Knicks. They played very nice basketball.
Oh man, sass.
Shaq has the famous quote of, "There's only one way you can beat us, and it starts with a C and it ends with a T."
Yeah,
by which he means cheat.
Yes,
but, he made you figure it out.
And look, Kings fans will always feel like they were the victims in that series, and I understand why, and I understand all the grievances about Game 6, which you don't need to get into, but what I remember about that series, and I said this to Abrams for the oral history, was that, yes, both sides had their grievances, and they were legitimate, and the Laker grievances, I remember in Game 5, so Game 6 is the big one with all the free throws by Shaq, and that's
27 free throws in the fourth quarter.
Game 5, I remember sitting there, and that time we're still courtside. We are on the sideline, wedged in between the Laker bench and the scorer's table. So we've got a very good view. We're as close as you can possibly be. Shaq was getting the living beat out of him in that game, in Game 5. I've never gone back and watched it again to see how many fouls I think could have been called that weren't. But Divac, Pollard, Weber, everybody, they were, I think it was, I'm pretty sure it was Pollard, but all the big men. I don't know, Lawrence Funderburk was still on that team. Yeah,
involved in that series.
He was, and because that was how you beat Shaq, was to beat him up, and you would get the benefit of the doubt because Shaq was so big that you could hit him in ways that if you hit a smaller player, or a player who wasn't as strong, you'd certainly get called for fouls. Like, there were fouls on Shaq that should have been flagrants that weren't called because guys basically just bounced off of him.
You can't dislodge Shaq.
No. But they went hard at him. They did everything possible to disrupt him.
Yeah, exactly.
And in ways that, like I say, I think the Lakers would have had legitimate complaints there. I think that was it.
O'Neal now single coverage with Weber. O'Neal with a facial. It's 70 from the bench. Fox gets himself trapped, but able to fight O'Neal. Good recovery by Fox. It is a 1-point Sacramento lead. The offense has slowed down, and Devon's trying to get it down, draws the foul.
Remember what they did well in games 2, 3, and 4, and that was pass the basketball, cut early, get the Laker defense confused. Right now, they're a little slow getting into their offense, but out of that play, they're going to get a break as Shaquille O'Neal is way off the ball and still gets beat and gets called for that first time. Now you can see that the Laker defense is reacting much better to passes, but not doing a good job on the drive. Weber got 5, Divac got 5, and they're looking for the foul to be against.
Well, Doug Christie draws the foul. It's on Bryant.
He do.
Brian Shaw out on the floor. Brian Shaw has come on for Kobe Bryant, who picked up.
There'll be some heated turkey, man. I really enjoyed
They had very good position in
Sacramento, and I probably enjoyed watching him in Orlando too. That Dwight Howard squad.
Rick Adelman.
Imagine that that's a foul on him. I'm not sure what he does other than stand in a position that he's already assumed.
Believe it or not, I can make that shot, so they're going to have really respect him.
Oh, Weber is fouled by O'Neal.
Dude, he just bounces right off Shaq.
That was his second. Cut off by Richmond.
Now, with no Weber, they're a little confused on how to score.
And as Christie made his move, a reach-in foul was called. The question is, was it Shaquille O'Neal? The officials are discussing it. Bill Spooner, Joe Crawford talking about the foul, and it's called a knee foul on O'Neal. That's 3 on Shaq, and this crowd reacts. On Shaquille O'Neal, the right call. His foot was right there. Christie on the move. He goes down because of it. 3 on Shaq.
Continue to be aggressive. If the fouls come, so be it. They will come. I will not alter my play.
Weber again open. Now takes it to the rim.
So crazy. This is 20 years ago.
Now that's the kind of play.
It is.
That's the kind of play that can turn a whole series. That's a jump ball.
He got his arms, and he brought that ball right through Shaq's arm, and he got the call, and that was a smart play by Vlad.
As Bibby uses the pick. Here's Bibby going at O'Neal, and a foul. A tripping foul
that certain refs were hard or easy on certain players?
That is what I would probably call the star call. If you have that star quality, you get more calls than just the average player. I think that goes in every single sport, not just the NBA. And you know, for many years, especially with Sacramento, I was a defensive player, so I would go up against Kobe a lot, and I would get called for calls that against other players I might not get called for, but I understood that this is Kobe Bryant and he is a superstar. So you have to be very careful when you're out there playing.
We're doing movie day today. We're talking about we're watching the Kings get screwed
what he just
in the NBA playoffs.
Kobe and Zach. Who's going to do it for Sacramento? Weber. Bryant is fouled.
If you've never seen this video, you got to check it out. It's called The Greatest Tragedy in Sports.
Not to say anything further as Christie picked up number 5. It off and is posting up. Foul is called. Turkoglu picks it up. He's pushed aside by Divac, recalling the technical foul that Turkoglu selected a couple of games back after arguing out a call.
Well, he's also trying to tell him this game is way too important. We've got to get this one in the books, and we can't give the Lakers any kind of advantage.
But he's tied the game.
Hey, just so you guys know, Skip is going to be joining me on Thursday's show, so make sure you guys join in for that. We will definitely be talking more Kings basketball.
Christie defending on Bryant. 29 minutes for Christie, 8 points, and he heads to the bench. Easy play to call. Rick Fox is standing there. Doug Christie. Rick Fox takes a step to his left on that one. I'm not sure if he was set there. Bobby Jackson gets the call.
So you're saying it's a tough play to call.
He looks funny with hair,
knocks
man.
The ball out of bounds. The refs call it off of Robert Horry. The replays are very clear. Weber almost threw it out of bounds. Like he bailed him. He bailed out of the play.
Yeah, Fred, it hurts.
He flipped it and it went out of bounds.
But it's going to feel even better when we make the playoffs this year.
Definitely things. Again, these things turn on a trifle. Though any one of these little plays, and Game 5, which the Kings, I believe, won, could have gone to the Lakers.
Jack Lee says last touch by.
I think Weber set what was arguably an illegal screen on Derek Fisher, which got Bibby open up for the.
Outside jump, over to the right side. Bibby slips a 20-footer with 8.2 remaining. Timeout LA.
But the Lakers still had time to try to break the Kings' hearts once again.
Kobe Bryant right in the lane against Jackson. 3 seconds. Kobe's turnaround jumper right baseline rimming. No. Stojakovic the rebound. The Kings win.
It was the biggest win in Kings franchise history, leaving them one victory from the finals.
Don't get your hopes up.
For me personally, it was a tough whistle, but I've been in 17, 18 years. They also used to give me the tough whistle at Sacramento when Chris, used to play, but it was something that I've, grown, accustomed to. So we just got to go out, just keep playing.
Hey Shaq, what's up? Tim Donaghy's on the phone for you. But after
6 of the Western Conference Finals, 2002, Lakers and Sacramento Kings, a notorious game. Sacramento was up in that series 3-2. You could certainly argue that if the NBA Finals were New Jersey and Sacramento, that would not be a very sexy matchup. The Lakers come out and they win that game. They had 40 free throws. They had 27 free throws in the fourth quarter. I mean, these are really staggering numbers. Was the fix in that night?
I'm not going to say the fix was in, but I definitely think that Sacramento was put at a disadvantage with it being put on that Game 6. He was notorious.
Come on, man. That means the fix was in.
With other referees that he was the NBA's go-to guy, and that he was put on Game 6s to make sure they went to Game 7s because that was good for the league, higher ratings, more money. So he openly discussed that with other referees.
So Pavetta, he used to admit that, and he was proud of that?
Absolutely. He was claimed to be the NBA's go-to guy.
So in that sense, is that game not fixed if this guy is a company man who's going to call that game a certain way?
I think everybody has an opinion of whether it's fixed, manipulated, whatever terms you want to use, but certainly Sacramento, in my mind, was put at a disadvantage in the league.
So yes, it was fixed.
I knew that there were certain relationships that existed between referees and players, referees and coaches, and referees and owners that influenced the point spreads in games.
Police officer Shaquille O'Neal.
Yeah, which he's had a badge as well.
He's got a lot of badges. He's been with quite a few different police departments. So he has a tremendous heart for those who serve. And, talk about a big kid. I mean, the guy loves to have a good time, but he was one special talent and strongest person I've ever refereed by far.
It's another thing entirely to allege that the league office conspired for these kind of actions to transpire. That's a far more damning allegation.
I hear you, Stephen A., but remember, Donaghy chose two very easy targets here, two glaring examples of questionable officiating and alleged league-influenced officiating in the Yao Ming, Jeff Van Gundy controversy. And you're right, we both covered that infamous Game 6 Sacramento-LA in 2002. And after the game, a lot of objective media members, those who weren't from LA or Sacramento, thought that it was just absolutely highly suspicious, especially in the fourth quarter, what went down in that game.
All right, thanks, Jim. 2 minutes gone by. Kings with a 5-3 lead on the Lakers.
Well, Marv, one thing about getting a muscle warmed up, the more you get it warmed up, the looser it is. So Billy just has to utilize it in.
A defensive 3-second call, something we have not seen this series.
Thank goodness for that. But why is this?
I didn't even notice. I got a clear beer. Look at this.
The Lakers can get back in character because they don't like to play at pace, and right now the game is wide open. They're going to call a foul and a little bit of a confrontation.
And Ronnie Divac stepping between his teammate Chris Webber and Kobe Bryant to break it up. However, Bob Delaney with the call, and he says foul on Chris Webber.
Technical foul.
And a technical. Bryant was looking for Fisher. Now Bryant gets the foul. The foul committed by Billy.
If you're Sacramento, don't get into it with the refs right now. Sacramento's missing their perimeter shots. I mean, it is a rarity for them in this series. Kobe Bryant in transition, just going right there.
Changing game plan.
How long in the lane is Rick Adelman's complaint here? 1, 2, 3. Hard to see how this is a foul on Vlade, who just sort of stands behind the mountain moving in on him.
To do at the defensive end, and offensively they've got to do less dribbling and more passing.
Billy got the step. Bobby Jackson is up here. Trying to get the shot off, but an offensive foul on Vlade Divac. That's his second. Timeout is called. The Lakers up by 3 with 2:54 remaining in the first.
Terrific strategy by Sacramento, but Lindsey Hunter does a better job of getting under.
Once again, O'Neal goes to work against Pollard, able to whip right by.
Good point, Matthew.
Go down, Shaq.
I think it's more of like a bias, right? Of like, well, Kobe Bryant is this good. He couldn't have missed that shot.
What is and what is not a foul here is Scott Pollard going to the hoop. The Kings bench.
I think it starts like that, and then, like you said, it kind of goes a little far, right? Where these guys, like Shaq was saying, he's been in the league for 18 years when he was in Cleveland. So it's like you already create a relationship with these people, and they know. Like Draymond Green is a great example of this. If you're a referee, you know if you don't call something, Draymond Green's going to get on you and abuse you. It's just unfortunate.
Foul called on Webber, his second.
He's got Webber with 2 fouls, Vlade with 2, Pollard with 3. So Sacramento in a world of hurt at this moment because of Shaquille O'Neal.
Play by Shaw.
Oh, buzzer beater.
And Chris Webber was already pointing good before Vlade even shot the ball. That's how much confidence Sacramento is playing with right now. And this Laker crowd is stunned.
Kings big men have got to go to the offensive glass.
Well, Phil Jackson is over there telling his guys, hey, we can win the game, but we can't win it in 2 minutes.
Divac called for the foul. A hold on Vlade. That's number 3.
Shaq just works his way right there. Keeps moving back in, Not a whole lot Vlade can do in that situation.
Sacramento
looks very tentative at the offensive end.
Nice passing.
Another behind-the-back pass, but Bibby had nowhere to go.
Can you imagine if Shaq was playing in today's
He was looking
NBA?
for a call, and he thought that he got bodied out of bounds, and his body language says, man, give me a break at some point. Give me a call against this guy.
It's not going to be about calls, Steve. It's going to be about who's the best player.
I think calls go in there somewhere.
Bryant gives it back, as does Fisher. Shot clock down a foul. They're having trouble locating a shot, and they got bailed out. A foul on Turkoglu.
A lot of hesitation on the other guys will be out of the offensive rhythm and sync. Then you got a chance if you play the team game at this end.
Oh, Bibby able to split his way through. Rebounded by Fox. Here comes Fisher. Locks it up. Back from the Kings. Try to fast break the Lakers. Here's Bibby. The 3. Yes!
Get knocked to the ground and no foul called on that penetration, and then come right back and throw that dagger. Bibby's up the court, getting into it with the crowd. Uncalled for there.
Sacramento by 3. Fox turned back by Weber.
There he goes.
Gets a 2-on-1. Bryant back. Christie. Christie and Mike Bibby succeeding with the 2-on-1, and Phil Jackson wants to talk it over.
What competitive response by Sacramento. They're going to the hoop time and time again. They're getting knocked to the floor. The whistles are in the pockets of the referees, but the shots are going down for Sacramento, and Phil Jackson very concerned.
Able to save it. Turkoglu for 3. And a loose ball foul called on Vlade Divac. That is number 4 on Vlade.
That's the one that Turkoglu needs to come out. You got your power forward on the floor. Pollard in for Vlade Divac, as Rick Adelman can only ponder the possibilities.
He was trying to tip that ball away from him, and Shaq a little bit off balance, but got the call to go in his favor. He's been making free.
It's almost over.
Shaq has been on fire from the line. It's a 3-point game. Fisher knocked it.
Oh, there you go. it ended. Oh man, that's funny. So that's it. Apparently, like I said, I originally watched that documentary back in like 2009. It was posted on YouTube. I think it got taken down. I don't know why exactly. I just refound it on that website. It's not like it used to be, right? They would show every single foul that happened. They would break down the footage, showed in slow motion. But it's definitely an interesting situation. And as Kings fans, something we definitely need to pay attention to and remember, right? I know a lot of you guys are much younger and don't remember all this stuff that happened, but I think it's important to look back and know. Also, I started the show with this. I want to kind of end the show with this too. The ESPN does an off-season survey of all the coaches around the NBA, and one assistant coach likes the Kings' chances of making the playoffs this year and says that the Sacramento Kings actually had the best offseason of any team in the NBA, which is awesome, right? Here's a quote. I think they made enough additions where I think they have a legitimate chance to make the playoffs. And then the bottom of this article basically goes over the Kings have Fox and Sabonis, right? Both young guys. And then they were able to add in a bunch of other young guys this offseason. And Murray, Mitchell, Herter, Monk, all those guys are under 25 years old, which I think is huge for the Kings. But I'm excited for this year's team. I'm excited for the playoffs. Like I said, I think the Kings will make the playoffs this season. I think it's their time. It's their opportunity. Unfortunately, it's been 16 years since they missed out, and you know, it's been a lot of pain. It's been a lot of anger watching all these games. It's kind of one of the reasons why I wanted to show you guys this video, because I feel like we're kind of at the end of the tunnel. We can see the light. We know that the Kings are going to be better. And honestly, just on paper, This Kings team is so much better than they've been over the past 10 seasons. So I think that, for one, is something to be excited for as a Kings fan. There's, the new arena in downtown Sacramento. I think the Kings are finally going to be a 500-plus team. And the good part is, like I said, is all these guys are young and they're locked up for multiple seasons. So if the Kings are good this year, that means they're going to be good next year, and they're going to be good the year after that, and they're going to continue building. I think Monty's done an exceptional job building the foundation on this Kings squad. He's just got to keep going. And I think the biggest thing right now is we need Monty to get a contract extension, right? Last offseason, we were talking about hashtag Hey Monty. This offseason needs to be hashtag Where's Monty's extension? Because that is the next domino to fall. I love Mike Brown. I think he's going to be a great coach for this team. I love all the moves that Monty's done this offseason. But Monty's really the guy that needs to be locked up next. It just needs to happen. So whatever you guys can do, if you can tweet, the Kings, tweet ownership, spread awareness as much as you can. We need Monty back. He needs to get a contract extension and remain with the Kings. I think he's done an exceptional job. But anyways, I just had a wonderful time hanging out with you guys this Tuesday night watching that movie. It was a lot of fun. Like I said, we will be back on Thursday. Calvin is still on vacation. So I have Skip is joining me from Sacktown Breakdown. Him and I are going to go over a few different Kings topics, touch on the things we're most excited about coming into this next upcoming season, and then Calvin will be back next week. So thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate you all so much. Please don't forget to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and as always, go Kings.